Hey, hello everyone. Hello Milan. Hello Karen. I'm very happy that you are my guests today. Milan Herich and Karen Zohar. Today is our fourth talk in the project Conversation with Remarkable People. And the intention of the project is to meet interesting and inspiring people that we can all hear and get some ideas and inspiration, both in the area of movement and dance and more. And today our guest is Milan. Milan is a professional dancer and creator, currently works around Europe and in Belgium. And in the origin, he's from Slovakia, and we will hear about his background soon. And Karen is with us as well. She's a dancer and a creator. She teaches for the last 10 years, and she met the work that Milan represents as well, the flying low technique by David Zmברנו. And she's the creator of the platform of this work here in Israel. So I'm honored to have both of you in the conversation. Welcome, and we are going to have a great time together. So how are you, Milan? How are you these days?
Hello to all of you. Thank you for this opportunity also because it's not happening often to have this kind of discussion or interview. So I'm very happy that you would like to know about me and about my life, about my dance. So I'm doing well. Yeah, thank you.
Currently at Barcelona, right? Are you teaching there? What's the situation there right now?
Well, I was working in Palamos. It was in the town, 1 hour and a half from Barcelona. So yeah, I was here for 2 weeks, and now I'm passing by Barcelona for 3 days, and then going back to Brussels.
Great. And Karen, you are in Tel Aviv right now, right?
Yes, I do. In Sderot Chen. I think really close
Yes,
to you
it's near
also.
my house, actually. By the way, just to let both of you know, so Karen and I, we live really close to each other. But you know, Milan, I got something that just in the street near my house is the embassy of Slovakia. Yes,
Really?
it's the closest embassy to my house. Yes, it's in here in Tel Aviv. It's really close to my house. And when I go there, I go near this building every morning when I go to buy coffee. So I see there are many photos there, like big photos of different parts of Slovakia, really beautiful, like lots of nature. And I saw Bratislava, I think it's the capital.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
it is.
different stuff. It's really interesting. So next time that you will come to Israel, I'm sure that they will be interested that you are here and can have a look at the embassy and see what they have to offer, if they will be open.
Yeah, definitely. There would be also for me nice opportunity to invite Slovak embassy, either just to, especially for my coming, maybe to support, or even if I would be performing, also to invite them and to see. So I when I was working as a, like, especially with the company of Les Slovaks, sometimes we contact, or our manager contact the Slovak embassy, so they came to see the performance, and then we had some reception. So it's not happening that often. So
Might be interesting. Excellent. So I want to start, Milan, by inquire a little bit into your history in childhood. You were born in Slovakia, and I heard in one of your rare interviews, it's not so, it was easy to hear many of them yet in the web, but I heard that you said that you didn't choose to be a dancer, but your parents chose it for you when you were 3. And you started with a Slovak folk dance. So I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about your childhood. How was your, how were you raised during the dance scene, and what is the Slovak folk dance like?
mhm. So exactly as you said, so I began as a 3 years old. My parents decided, not me. So I didn't know so much about the world, but they decided that me, I will be dancing, and my brother, that he will be playing music, accordion. So like when you are so young, you still don't know about the world, what is happening, where you are, you know. I just knew that I was surrounded by other children, and in the beginning it was not really like a folklore dancing, more as a kind of like a lot of children games and, you know, very simple dances. So, and then little by little, when I was a little bit more older, then of course I was not questioning, you know, it was already kind of part of my life. So I was going there because, yeah, my parents decided, but it was already like normal. So so I've been in this traditional folk dance from my 3 years old till 14. So, but in the seventh year of my primary school, I start to like more sport than dance. I mean, more like basketball and football, and I had this vision to go this direction. And then my parents and my mother, they talked to me. They said, you should maybe stay one more year, and then to decide what you really want, if you want to continue with dance or with sport or anything. And then I said, okay, I will stay one more year. And the friend of mine that we've been dancing together in the folk dance company, they just opened freshly the conservatory in the center of Slovakia, and she was accepted there. And then she asked me, I think half year ago, that if I would like to try as well to go to the conservatory, and I said, okay, why not? So then I did the audition and I was accepted. Yeah, so basically this. And about the folk dance, the question was, yeah, our folk dance or traditional dance is very rich. Yeah, we are a small country. We are just 5.5 million of population, but inside of this small country, every 50 kilometers is different region. So it's different dances, different tradition, different songs. So it's very rich and still is very popular. Even a few years ago.
And what are the components? Yeah, I wanted to ask, what are the components of the folk dance in your place? Like this richness that you speak about, like what is it?
Well, it's kind of the high physicality, you know, like almost all of the dances in Slovakia are quite physical and are somehow also equal between man and woman. It's never like this hierarchy that man is something higher than the woman. So these, and also the costumes are really beautiful. Of course, each region has is very different in terms of colors or how they are sewed, you know, like all these patterns. I think next time I would need to show you a couple of regions and explain you, and yeah, I think you will like it a lot. And we have a lot of traditional dance festivals that are happening during the summer mainly. So, and also a lot of international companies come to perform.
And it's something that you also dance inside your house as a child, or it happened as a dance school out of the house?
What do you mean inside of my house?
Like, did the folk dance happen inside your childhood with the family and in some kind of events, family events, or it's something that as a child you had to walk out for a dance school of traditional dance?
Not inside of my house. My parents, they didn't. My father was playing a little bit accordion, but that's it. They just had a nice relationship towards the folklore and towards music and dance, and they just wanted that we have some activity, and that's why. I liked it a lot, the dance, but my dancing, but my brother, he always hated the music, playing the accordion. He was suffering because it was kind of obligatory from my father. But later on, he also actually the director of the dance company. She asked first me if my brother he would like to play double bass in the folk dance company. I said, I don't know, you have to ask him. So then she asked him and he said yes. So he had a couple of private lessons. And then, yeah, suddenly we were two of us in the folk dance company traveling. And he started to like it so much that even after a few years, they made their own music band with the traditional music. And he was playing until like 3-4 years ago. The band still continue, but my brother he finished it.
Interesting. You mentioned before when we talked about the Slovak project or the Slovak. I'm not sure if I pronounced it right. Like you met a few guys from Slovakia, a few men when you were young, and you created kind of a project together or a company together. And I tried to read a little bit about it, and I saw that you were all coming almost from the same background, from the folklore dance, and you all started very early. And then you met together and you created this project. So can you tell us a little bit about this project? How did you meet and what did you create and what this project is about?
So we were two guys from the same city. So me and Peter Yashko, right now he's living in Montreal. So we were from same folk dance company and from same city. And then another city that is kind of also center of Slovakia was Anton Lahky and Milan Tomášik. They were together in another dance company. And then we met basically in a conservatory when I was 14. So I was in the same year with Milan, and then Peter was together with Anton. So, and there we were kind of sharing the small room together, four of us, and dancing and basically everything. So we became really like the best friends. That later on, after our studies in a conservatory, we decided to go to Brussels to make an audition for a part school. That then in the end we were accepted, four of us. And after the part school, we separate a little bit. So each of us we went to different company. I went to company of Wim van de Keebus, Milan Tomášik, that right now he's living in Slovenia. He was with Isto Kovac. Then Anton Lahky, he went to Akram Khan company, and Peter Yashko, he went to Roberto Olivan company. So we spread like this. And then also in Brussels, the fifth guy was Martin Kilvadi, that we met him 1 year before we came to Brussels, to part school. So, and he was already in Belgium because he was dancing with Rosa's company. You know Rosa's? And then
yes,
and then as well he was.
Yeah, I saw something.
And then as well he was in a project of Roberto Olivan. So after that experience, that we were all of us, for I think 1.5 years or 2 years, then we were still kind of living together. And then we said, let's make our own company, you know. So because we've been working together as a friends, but never as a company. So people knew us more as a performers from other companies, but not as a company. And the name Les Slovaks Dance Collective came because we were always, wherever we went like together, you know. So always people, when they saw us sitting somewhere in the bar or restaurant, or wherever, they were like never telling us like, there is Martin, Milan, you know, like all these names, but always like, Slovaks are there, you know. So then we've been thinking always, what kind of name of the company we will invent, and then was like Les Slovaks Dance Collective. So because we were working as a collective, so yeah.
Are you still active now?
No, we finished 2 years ago. We did finish, 2 years ago. We exist from we started in 2006. In 2007 was the first performance called Opening Night, and in 2012, and we exist to 12 or 13 years, together.
So while were you dancing and performing with the Slovaks, you also met David Zmברנו in that time?
This was a bit earlier. This was 99, 2000. I met him. I met him through Peter Jaško, because still when we were studying in Brussels, in Slovakia, in conservatory, he went one of the summer to Vienna to see the Impulse Dance Festival, and that time for us was really expensive to take these classes at Impulse Dance. So he was just watching, and then while he was watching, he saw the class of David Zmברנו, and then somehow how they met, it was like in the payment, like in the sidewalk, that they met each other, and he said, I saw you sitting there watching, why you are not taking class? And he said, well, it's very expensive for me, I cannot afford it. So then David said, I think you should go home to tell to your mother to wash your clothes, again fill up your bag with the food, and come back, and I give you free classes. So he did it as David told him, and I think he gave him 2 or 3 free classes. And then because we are from same town, he came completely excited, like, you can believe I met this amazing teacher called David Zmברנו, and he started to show me a few steps, you know, like how to go into the floor and some rolling, but I didn't pay attention so much. And then year or 2 years later, another Slovak, Milan Tomášik, when also he was a dance weber at Impulse Dance. So we all 4 of us, as the best friends, he went to see the festival, to see him, to meet David Zmברנו, as I knew him through Peter, you know. And of course, that time I didn't speak English, you know, only guys spoke a little bit of English. So they had to translate a little bit for me. But we just came just to watch, not to take the classes. and then a year later we did this audition for parts, and after the flying low class, he came to me and he asked me, "But where did you take my class?" And I couldn't respond because I didn't spoke English, so the guys they had to help me a little bit, and I said nowhere. Just Peter showed me a few movements, and he said that's amazing because it looks like really you know my class or you did it before. And then immediately I got the offer from him to do the class in impulse dance, you know, almost kind of like assisting, you know, for 1 week. So I was that next summer before parts, I was spending 1 week with him taking class. So this was kind of our beginning.
Interesting. So for our listeners that maybe are not familiar or know, can you share a little bit who is David Zmברנו?
So David Zmברנו is a teacher, creator of flying low technique and also passing through technique. He's a choreographer, and as well he's an improviser. He's coming from Venezuela. He's 61 years old, and right now he's living between Amsterdam and Brussels.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And what was the main thing that attracted you? You were attracted by so much with his work, because I know that you work close to him in the last years, and you teach his methods, and you really work close together. So, what was this spark, or what really inspired you in his work and in his teaching?
Yeah. So first of all, to come back into again traditional folk dance, because my traditional folk dance that I was doing for so many years is a lot up and down. It's really up and down. And then when I did this technique for like during the audition or later, this technique was really kind of easy for my body, you know. It was almost like that was that I born for this technique. Of course, later on, I had to still practice of all these details, how to put the 10 toes, you know, or the arms, how you are sending through your fingers and taking from your elbows. So all these little bit details I had to practice it, but didn't take me too long. But as I said, like. When I went first time to Vienna to Impulse Dance, that he offered me for 1 week the free classes, I didn't speak any English, so I just, thanks to my intelligence of my eyes, of my body, that I could just do the class without knowing what he was talking. So, yeah.
And what can you say about the principles of flying low? How can you explain this technique?
So actually, let's say I will say a little bit about the technique. I mean, how he created. This technique was created over 30 years. Of course, it was not in the beginning how it is now. So it was little by little. And this technique is mainly that it's the technique how to go is not the best technique, but is for him or for other people, mainly for him, is the way how to go into the floor and out of the floor. Yeah, there are many ways how to go into the floor and out of the floor, but for him is kind of a very efficient method is how to go into the floor. It's almost like an aerobic class, yeah. And also about this class is that he gives the pathway, specific pathway, how to go, into the floor and out of the floor.
Yeah. And I remember when I participated in your workshop around 2 years ago, I think it was something like this here in Israel. And Karen was the organizer of this event. And I'm not a dancer myself, and it was really, I had some familiarity with the floor work and release technique. But it was different in the intensity and in the combination of the phrases and the creation of the atmosphere, and also the work in space, in the running and jumping and things like that. Can you tell a little bit about the difference between flying low technique and other floor work techniques in the dance world or in the movement world?
It's very hard for me to compare the other floor technique because I didn't do so many. I mean, as I said, you have different way how to go into the floor, and this is really specific way how to go into the floor through specific pathway, that he basically showed to people. I'm a little bit losing. I had something in my mind to say. Can you repeat the question again, because I lost something?
Yes, I wanted to ask if you can tell a little bit about the difference between the flying low technique and other floor work techniques that maybe you are familiar with, and there, other techniques that for dancers to work on the floor or for movers to work on the floor. What makes this technique different? So I experienced like it's very fast, or it goes very fast, and there is a high intensity, and what you call the phrases or the combinations of movements are kind of changing all the time and evolving. And so, yeah, I wanted to ask how is it different from other floor work techniques, if you can say something about this?
As I said, I don't know how to compare it to other techniques. I have already so much in my body this technique that that works also for me very efficiently, and I use it when I need it, especially for my performing or using, so it's really hard for me to. So when I see somebody, instead of sending, they are cutting, so immediately I see in this way the difference, that it's the way that you are sending is more efficient than cutting, because if you have especially if it's the air, just air, you don't feel that you are cutting the air. But if you have really the physical obstacle as a person, and you want to just go from one side to the other, so there is the obstacle, so it doesn't allow you to pass, so that's why also in this technique you go a lot through through the space, but also through you, and how to use also your inner space, because many times people are used to, when they are dancing, improvising, on the floor, in standing, to use mainly the outside space, than more to use the inner space of yourself. So this was, I think, the purpose. So it's the simple philosophy of this technique, that is gathering, sending, so giving and taking. So it's something really natural what we are doing also in our life. So I think he invented really smartly this technique.
So maybe if you are talking about this principle, which from my experience is really the main principle, the physical and the philosophy principle in this technique, maybe you can tell us how, like, you're really practicing this kind of movement for more than 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can tell us how do you meet these physical principles in your daily life, like, and maybe not that specific principles, because from my experience, there is some, I don't know, maybe like main principles that you meet all the time in each phrase. It's like one phrase can say like all of the technique, kind of. So the question is, how can you see it in your daily movement life?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, as I said, it's already in my system, so I don't really question, or of course I'm aware of them, but it's inside. So there is no like I'm going to, I'm on the floor, and at first I as I'm going up on my feet, I need to put 10 toes. So anyway, it's something automatic, so. But this is just the technique, this what I'm sharing, this technique with other people. This is one thing, but then using other things that are not allowed in the technique, so it's also pushing, it's not all the time I'm doing just sending and gathering, but also in improvisation everything is everything is possible. So as I said, that this technique is really specific, and improvisation is something also very different. So
yeah.
And also to say also, because I didn't mention that this technique was made mainly out of the injury. Yeah, so it happened because David didn't have any dance education, and he really loved to dance really widely. And then he was smashing himself, and yeah, he went too crazy that, and he also didn't take care of his body in terms of stretching, and because it was not known as now, So he damaged his arches on his feet. So the doctor gave him a special shoes and crutches, and he forbid him to dance. But he loved so much dancing that he said to doctor, "But I cannot stop dancing. I have to continue my life, my dancing." So then he said, "If I cannot dance on my feet, then I can just basically dance on the floor." So then he started to roll from one side to the other side, and little by little, when his feet start to heal more and more, then he went into the squatting position, medium position, and standing. And then he always loved running, so then he integrated running, in this technique, and then also integrate the momentum, that was sliding. So as you are going very fast in running, so then you slide, or you, yeah.
So regarding the health of the body, so for me, I felt that especially in the first day, I think in the workshop, it was like quite intense. And after the workshop, I felt like some tension, not any injuries, because I knew how to work through it. But there was some kind of stiffness that I felt that I have to, to do some stretching and good preparation for the class to warm up my joints. And I wondered if, do you have any kind of additional training or practice? Do you have any other physical activity that you do to support your teaching and this intense work, or you do only this?
So as I said, for me, this technique was very easy, also in terms of the folk dance, what I did up and down. So already my my legs were kind of prepared, yeah. So it was nothing new for my body. Of course, yeah, like it's a little bit new way of using different muscles or something. Of course, I got sore as well, and even now I get sore many times if I don't do it for so long. But then also I do a lot still. I love running. I love sport like skiing, you know. So there also you need to have kind of quite strong legs. Cross country. As a basketball or football, I don't play so much as I was used to as a kid, and basically just dancing, yeah, stretching. Yeah. So these are kind of my dance preparation. No, I would say not dance preparation. Yeah, physical preparation.
Yeah.
But even when I don't do it that so long, when I don't do it so long, still somehow the body understands very well, and I don't get that sore, you know.
Yeah.
As maybe also that my body is so used to this technique that and I already maybe know how to work with the energy, you know. So if I go up and down, so when I go down, I use more like a free fall, you know, and then just before the floor I dissolve, you know, and then just coming up, you just take yourself quickly, you know. So
You said that it's just taking your body up quickly, but maybe this is one of the most difficult physicality, like this moment that you need to go up. Like this second is maybe it's like the deepest work, I think. And
I think also a lot of people, when I'm teaching this, I think from the floor they want to come immediately up, you know, and I think still they don't have it in the body that before going up you need to go down into the floor, you know, almost like when you are turning pirouette that you have to do plie and then you turn, you know. So if you really think that you need to still penetrate even more the earth, then it's even easier. And also, as David always explained, that you go from one side to the other side, so you are basically going up through the kind of spiral. Yeah. So
you mentioned the term efficiency in many times in these techniques or in your work. And for me, and Karen and I, we spoke about it a little bit. I'm a physical therapist, and I teach movement and I research movement, and I'm very interested in the functional part of movement and how it can contribute to people's life. And I was really, I got really interested in this work because it has, as I saw it, many functional components for people that are not specifically dancers. Because I believe that any person, in order to function well, he or she, they have to know how to transition from standing to lying down to rolling on the back to rolling on the side to rolling on the belly, and do it efficiently and smoothly for many years to come. And I wanted to ask you, how do you see the functional value of this work to the quality of life of people beyond, let's say, dancers that want to perform well? Is there a formal component that is for this, or what do you say?
As I said before, that this technique is more like a aerobic technique, yeah, that keeps you in shape, and also it helps you how to go into the floor and out of the floor. But I don't think it makes you better dancer, you know, because it's just the specific way, a specific pathway that David or I or any teacher gives, you know. So yeah, so as I said, it doesn't make you better dancer, you know. It just give you some technical skills, you know. So I don't know how else. Maybe still you can formulate the question, or still you can ask me a little bit different way.
Yeah, I'm interested in the you know, in the functional value of the techniques of this technique, or in the components of the technique, how they can serve people even in their everyday lives. So, you know, people have to transition from standing up to going down to the floor and do it effortlessly. And I saw many things in this technique that can help people, not specifically dancers, as I said. So my question was, if the functional components, you know, of these techniques are they spoken? Is it like a formal components of this technique? And how do you think about it?
As I'm thinking about the functionality or efficiency, that
Yes.
I think all of us have this, you know, what is in this technique, but we are just we are not realize this, you know. And basically in the life you are doing, but as soon as you come to this to the class and doing this technique, people start to do completely something different, you know. And it's funny because that I mean, as you know, like two of you, that this technique is kind of simple in a way in terms of the phrases, you know, but it's more difficult in terms of the details, you know. So, and many times I'm very surprised how easy is this technique, but at the same time not, you know, and how much they struggle, you know, and spend time to actually work with this efficiency, with these details, you know, like just coming from the floor, that you take your whole body, that you take from the floor your whole body, including your arms, you know. And many times they just lead with one part of the body and not as a whole thing, you know. Like when we just wake up in the bed, from the bed, and we just take the whole body, you know, to the bathroom, or I don't know, not like the head is leading, then arms is leading. So
I should say from my experience with this technique that I was practicing a lot of different things before I met Flying Low, and it was really clear to my body that something happened in the daily life also, because I felt that I can be lighter, I can collect my body much more easy, I think. And I think I felt the like more clearly the moment that I need to resist the weight. So if I'm sitting on the chair, there is the moment that I can let the weight goes down, but the moment that I need to go up is like it became to be lighter in my life, in the physicality life. But I feel that there is more and more things that I can see in the behavior of my body after practicing it more and more. And I feel that like it's really have a lot of influence somehow. And maybe from here I can ask you for something that's really interesting me when I see the studio while people practicing together flying low. Also, when I was in Belgium and I met like 70 people from 30 countries, something really happened in the studio, something different. Inside the group, maybe the communication is different. And I think that somehow the physical principles are giving something else to the group, to the people, to the communication. So maybe, what can you say about this? You met a lot of groups all over the world with David. How can you say this magic that happened? What do you have to say about this?
Magic in terms of what?
In terms of the communication inside the group, in the studio.
Well, I guess this magic doesn't come just like immediately, you know. I think like you, from your own experience, you know that this communication comes more after the time, you know, in terms of the, like, I'm speaking as a group, you know. So yeah.
In my experience, in like I'm dancing till age 8. So most of the time when you're dancing in the dance techniques, you are very frontal. So maybe most of the time you don't see the people that standing next to you, around you, and something the physicality principles are giving you the opportunity to communicate.
In this way you are asking about the communication, yeah? Yeah, this technique, in the beginning you are teaching mainly frontal, yeah, because it's easy also for people to recognize which side you go, left or right, you know. But later on, I don't know if you remember, Karen, then later on become more multi-directional, you know, this class. I don't know, did we do also, Ohad? We did a little bit or not?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So then it's a multi-directional, so it's almost like you know the phrase, you know the information, and then you just improvise how you want with this material. You know, you can in the middle of in the middle of the phrase you can do pause and see, you know, that is what is happening, then continue. So yeah, and also in this technique, as you two of you know, that you as you are doing it, you are seeing left and right, yeah. So because it's also made this technique because of the spire, you know. So already when we are just walking, we are spiring, you know. So, and also to not forget the others, because yeah, you are not alone that and fixing your head frontally, but also you are alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recall from this short interview of yours that I already saw on YouTube. I think it was in a French channel or something, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's from Montreal.
Maybe, yeah, probably. So you said that your mission is to really to inspire people and open a door for them to take the material and create something of their own, and to improvise and really to see how they can not just copy the same thing that you show or you want to teach, but to take some inspiration and create something of themselves. And then you said that it's also important for you not only to give inspiration, but to get inspiration from your students or from your participants. So I wanted to ask you, in what sense do you get inspiration from participants? How is it happening?
as I told you, that flying low class is about the gathering and sending, yeah. So giving and taking, which is kind of something natural in our life. So I really love to, when I give something so much to participants or to students, that also I love to get back, you know, yeah, how they are curious, how they are hungry in terms of dancing, you know, or learning the material. So this is already giving me, and it's very inspirational. And then, of course, later on, I mean, if I know more, a little bit people, a little bit longer, you know, like when we are doing with David a little bit more intensive workshop, so then you start to share not only this kind of technique, but your own dancing. So while you are dancing, you are observing the others. So, you know, so you get really stimulated, and you learn a lot also from the others, you know. So
Yes.
so
Yes.
immediately, if you see somebody doing something, so immediately also you try to repeat it, to learn, you know. So yeah.
Yes, it's like it's a social event. Like people are in communication with one another. It's not only it's more than a solo practice or just a technique that I know how to work. You also observe the people around you, and you get and you give an offer and you get information all the time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I see.
So I'm just thinking what I could still say. Yeah, maybe it comes another from other questions, something else.
Yeah.
Is it true to say that there is no one way to make this this technique, like that it can looks a bit different on a different cultures or different people, different bodies, different countries? Like the same principles can look the same. Is it true?
Well, as we are coming from different countries or different bodies, it will be never the same, you know, even we are doing the same. You know,
While
like
in class, for example, it will look the same, kind of.
kind of, but also if we would be brushing our teeth, you know, we are doing the same action, but it will be always different, you know, how we are brushing our teeth in the which we have a kind of our own way, but somehow we do the same way, you know. So will be always different, you know, like as I see Edivaldo, Ernesto, or Horacio Macuacua from Mozambique. They are also working with David for a very long time. So, and we are all very different, you know, how we are doing, and we are doing this technique for so many years, kind of same but different. So each person gives something else, you know, while you are doing this technique. Do you understand me what I want to say?
Yes, this is exactly the interesting place that these principles can also giving you the opportunity to put yourself inside the shape of the movement or the phrase. So
Yeah.
it's really beautiful. And as you say, you can see people that practicing so many years, they're making it a bit different. So for me, it's like the opportunity also to different people to practicing it, and also not maybe just dancer from the dance world. And I think it connects to what Dowd said before.
Yeah, I could see, for example, the previous March when we were teaching, four of us in Barcelona, Edivaldo, Ernesto, Horacio Macuacua, and Peter Yashko, and me. We were guiding normally the plan was to guide the group for 3 weeks and to do the passing through technique that also David made it. But because of COVID, we had to stop after 1 week. But what I want to say that I could also see that after so many years that also doing David's technique, or that he was teaching all these principles, that also the way how we are teaching, we are so also different, So, and I think this is very important, that you just don't copy the world, because many times people love to follow someone, and they are just imitating world, they're just copying more than just really feel it and use it a little bit differently. So.
Yes. So there is like there is an authentic component that has to be there in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The authenticity of the dancer or the mover has to be there.
Exactly. Like I will never teach, or I will never be like David. It will be always like me, and I can teach this technique as close as possible or as authentic as possible. But always I will be different the way how I teach, or and also I don't want to copy exactly how he's teaching. I mean, I put somehow my input into that.
Yeah. I thought maybe we can zoom out a little bit from the technique and what we were talking about, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about different stuff beyond dance and movement. What are your other hobbies or interests in your life beyond beyond dance and beyond your professional life?
Well, I love cooking, honestly.
Yeah, really? What do you cook?
Well, so I left my family when I was 14. I mean, I was still coming back every weekend, after my week studies. This was still happening when I was in conservatory, then also in Bratislava, that I was in university for 1 year. But later on, when I was in Brussels, I started to miss a lot, like the traditional food, of my mother that she was cooking, or other dishes, So many times I start to ask my mother how to do this, how to do that. But then I will start to look for also through the internet a lot. And then when I came also to Brussels, I start to get to know different people from different countries, And many times when I was invited for dinner, I was always asking how you prepare this, and So I start to learn different way different way of preparing food, flavors and different culture. And I really dive into it, and I don't cook only the existing recipe, but also improvising, But I could cook different meals from different countries. So yeah, so I love to cook, and for myself it's a bit hard to prepare. I mean, I used to just very fast and simple to prepare food for myself, but then after that I said, why I cannot also just give something special to myself? So many times when I'm home, I'm preparing food, as I would be also in the restaurant. So, but if I have a guest in my house, I always serve as tip top, from soup to second plate, dessert. And
I will remember that, Milan.
did I cook for you? Did I cook for you?
I think no, but I will come to meet you next time.
Okay.
What are some of the traditional Slovakian dishes, or which kind of food is this?
Okay, so the area where I come from, it's mainly from the mountain area. So there you cannot plant so much. So it's mainly like cabbage, potato, meat and rice, and so mainly the food is quite heavy, So yeah, many times when I come back, it's like I'm not used to anymore this heavy food, I mean, even when it's very delicious, but so but traditional dish of Slovakia, it's called halušky s brinzou. It's like a potato that I grated, with flour, and become almost like a dough, and then you make gnocchi, that you are either now you can buy it already like a form, so you are spreading this dough and then falling down as a gnocchi already, or the old style that they spread this dough on the cutting board, and then with the knife you are just making this gnocchi. So when this gnocchi come out of the hot water, then you put it in the bowl, and then you mix it with fermented sheep cheese. So it become kind of really nice consistence, like almost a little bit creamy. And then you just fry the bacon, and then you put it on the top, and you drink it with sour milk. So this is really heavy traditional food that was from the poor people, but
Wow.
which almost I died from this dish when I was young, because I ate it like 2 plates so much and so fast that then my stomach stopped to work, and I was breathing really hardly.
Wow.
Then my family had to massage this point on the hand, and then they even need to put me upside down to shake. Still, nothing was working, and then in the end I just drank like 1.5 liters of Coca-Cola, and after a few hours it starts to work. So you have to go little by little with this dish,
Yes. Yeah. Wow. I think it sounds amazing. Actually, I think in the next workshop in Israel, Karen, we can add the cooking part to the workshop. It will be big,
The teacher will always cook for you.
Slovak cooking workshop with Milan.
Sure.
Yeah, there is nothing like it.
Yeah, for sure. I will not prepare for you hummus, because you are more specialist, but yeah, I can prepare something. So
it's a good time to say that we really waiting to see you again in Israel.
Yeah.
We had something like 2 dates that we had to cancel, so we wait for the right time and to have the second intensive with you.
Yes, we're waiting.
Yeah, but after another kind of activity that I like, except cooking and dancing, I love running or going do the ski or hiking, to go to the mountains. That I don't have so much opportunity, but if I have, then I go. So yeah.
Great. And maybe before we wrap up, I was wondering, do you like have a specific or clear path into your future, or you go with the flow, you let things happen, you are open to test things, new directions, or you have a clear path, that this is what you want to do, how you want to progress? How is it for you?
For sure, all of us, we have some kind of plan how to continue our life. But many times I just go with the flow and also live the life in present, you know. So yeah, I don't know, like I cannot just imagine what would be in 5 years, you know. So this prediction, yeah, as you see, like year ago, none of us could predict that will be something like this with the COVID-19.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the best is to really live right now, right here, you know, and fully, you know, to go for it, because as we knew now that COVID affect us so much that, you know, suddenly we couldn't move or to teach or to perform. So I think it's great to use this opportunity. So what is right now? So for the moment, it's going, I mean, well for me. You know, sometimes it's a lot that I have a lot of dance workshops. Sometimes it's really chill. You know, really easygoing. So then I use time for myself. So like from in COVID, I try to first wave of COVID, I try to not to be busy the online teaching, because I just realized that maybe it's time to listen the nature to, you know, ourselves, you know, not to be busy against the same thing what we are doing. So I went to the nature and I was collecting elderflower, the herbs, you know this white flower, elderflower. So I was making a syrup, or I was drying these white little flowers for the
Wow.
tea, and biking a lot. So because I come from also the generation that you know, when you are teaching, it's like life, you know, you are there. I found it a bit also strange to teach through the computer.
Hmm.
It's and also the physical touch, you know, when you are teaching, that you come, you can show, you can, yeah, and immediately the person through physical touch can understand differently, like through the Zoom, you know. um, yeah.
So are there any ways today for people, let's say from Israel or around, to be more familiar with your work, to contact you, to see some of your work? What are the best ways to do that?
Well, since I start to dance, I mean, yeah, since I start to dance, the cameras or photo cameras didn't exist. I mean, the cameras exist, but I never had it, and also I never also like to film myself, you know. So even now, when I teach the workshop, I'm not the person that I'm recording my own workshop and promoting. I'm really bad with the promoting, or I'm really bad businessman, you know. I thought of doing last year to make my own website and put all this information, I mean, about my teaching and what I did before, some videos, that at least people have some access. But I'm really, as I said, I'm really bad. You know, many times people ask me like, "Could you send me some video of your teaching?" I said, "I don't have so much, you know." So, so I have to little bit to improve in this case, you know, because I think some of my students or people that I've been teaching are doing much better than me. I'm still somehow lucky that people somehow didn't forget me, and so still I can travel and teach even when I don't promote myself, except just on Facebook or Instagram. I just post some information, you know, just by letters and picture. Yeah. So they can write me and I can give the information also, you know, where is my next workshop in this way. But if I'm teaching, I'm always either on Facebook or Instagram, I announce my coming workshops.
Yeah. Great, and we are eager that you will come back to Israel to teach, and me and Karen will do our best to make this happen as soon as possible. Karen, do you want to say a few things about the Flying Low community in Israel, or to the people listening that are in this community? What is this community? And if you want to say a few words about it.
I don't know if it's a community yet, but this is maybe the dream, or maybe it's happening in a natural way. But I think that after the corona will spread away a bit from our life, so I'm teaching in a few programs in Israel, and we will wait for the next second intensive that are inviting professional dancers, teachers from and movers from a different kind of physical techniques that will meet more and more this amazing flying low technique. And that's it. You can also find information in Flying Low Israel web in Facebook and the website, Instagram.
Yes, I will put the show notes. I will put the links in the show notes as well.
I was actually thinking today that when I came for the first time to Israel to share the technique of David, that I was really surprised how they also catch it quite well, you know, because I mean, this technique you can't learn in 1 week, 2 weeks, you know, 1 year. You need to practice it like for many years, you know, almost like whole life, to really not to know very well, like almost like as I said, that you copy, but you really need to. That comes really automatically into your body, and that you really you feel it, you know, that you know you are not just imitating.
Yes.
So and yeah, for the week, that it was not even week, it was like 3 days, you know, that people they caught it quite well, and also they caught it the clarity quite fast, so I was a bit surprised.
Yes, I think it's something that's really missing a bit here in the movers community in Israel. This kind of energy in the studio, and especially Flying Low, that is very recommended and famous all over the world. And it's for me, the dream is like it will be more and more in more and more places. And
But I wanted to say still that yeah. Anyway, I just also want to tell you that this is not only the technique that I'm teaching, you know. It's also that I'm teaching kind of my technique, you know, that is inspired by Flying Low. So I'm kind of using the same principle, but in a kind of, I use a different pathway or different steps. I guess, I mean, I still use a lot of things that are used in Flying Low. I mean, walking, running. This is what I somehow, I like, you know, as I said, from sport, and also up and down, but a little bit in different ways. So this is not only the technique that I'm always busy or sharing.
Yes, yeah, we would love to see it and learn from you as much as possible.
Yeah, every year actually I'm trying to update it, you know, to change it, but because sometimes I'm so busy, so the year passes so fast, and then I say, oh, okay, so I have to do it, you know, and then year passes you know, so I have to really sometimes to not be busy with the workshop, but just spend myself in the studio and to play and develop it a little bit.
Excellent, excellent. Do you have any other message or question or something else that you want to share that with our listeners here in Israel or, you know, in general?
Well, for those that they love to dance, they should just dance, and go fully for what they really love to do, you know, or they really love to do, especially dance. So not only halfway, but fully, So because as we know, the life is really unpredictable, and so just use it. And for the others, the same, whatever they do in their life, the same, you know, just enjoy it and not to pretend something, you know, like that they like something and they don't feel it, but really to come inside of themselves and really say, I really like this, and then really go for it, you know. So this is also what I learned from David, that you cannot just cheat yourself, you know, to pretend something that you, as a therapist, you really love it. So really go for it, dive it, and and then people, they will see it, you know, that you love it, and also when you are giving as a therapy, they will feel it. So, and same also for Karen. So
Yes, it's a very powerful message. Takes a lot of courage, I think, to go in this path.
Yeah, because in our life nowadays we do so many things, you know. You take this and this and this and this, so it takes a lot of time and effort, you know. So it's always to choose really one or just few things, you know, and to spend time with that and dive it fully, you know. So.
Yes, it's a great advice for me personally, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I can see also through videos when I follow you, when I see what you are doing, and this is the most important, you know, that you are really, your life is fulfilled with the things that you love to do. So.
Yes.
Amen.
Karen, anything else that you want to say or share or ask?
I think I asked the things that I wanted. I really want to say also thank you for you, Ohad, for this great idea and this platform. And it's really a beautiful opportunity to meet Milan and to speak also about the things that maybe we don't have to speak in this studio. And it's a beautiful opportunity to see you, Milan, before the next time you will be here. And thank you, the both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, two of you, too. The same, to speak with you and share my life experience. And I guess next time when I come to Israel, we can speak more into the details or something else. And
it was a great opportunity and a privilege to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time and contribution, and thank you, Karen, for joining us and having this conversation. And I will put some links in the show notes. So all the listeners can see the relevant stuff, both here in Israel in the Flying Low, what we've done and what we'll do in the future, and for Milan's work as well. So take care.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.